Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Welcome back, dear fiends of the Den, as we continue the haunted history of Hollywood. And yesterday, I combined the haunted history and the hot mess of Hollywood in one live stream, which I will link in the description. And I was just comparing Hollywood scandals in the golden age to Hollywood scandals in the digital age, particularly Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford and Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So if you're interested, check that out because I will be doing more live streams like that. But today I am talking about the scandal of the century, let's say, back in the golden age of Hollywood, and that is the scandal of Fatty Arbuckle. Buckle up. Nothing beats the scandals of the golden age of Hollywood. And although, like I said in yesterday's live stream, there were Hollywood fixers, some scandals just could not be fixed. So let's talk about Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, born March 24th, 1887, and passed June 29th, 1933, and he was an American silent film actor, director, and screenwriter, and started the Selig Polyscope Company and eventually moved to Keystone Studios, where he worked with Mabel Normand and Harold Lloyd, as well as his nephew, Al St. John. He also mentored Charlie Chaplin, Monty Banks, and Bob Hope, and brought vaudeville star Buster Keaton into the movie business. Arbuckle was one of the most popular silent stars of the 1910s and one of the highest paid Hollywood actors, signing a contract in 1920 with Paramount Pictures for $1 million a year, equivalent to $15.7 million a year in 2024, and he starred in many silent films. Who starred in numerous silent films, and he began his career in 1914 in the film The Rounders, and this was a comedy featuring Arbuckle and none other than Charlie Chaplin. In 1916, he filmed Fatty and Mabel Adrift, a popular film co-starring Mabel Normand. In 1917, he filmed The Butcher Boy, Arbuckle's first film with Buster Keaton. In 1917, he filmed Coney Island, a comedic short set in the famous amusement park. And in 1920, he filmed The Garage, which was another collaboration with Buster Keaton. And Fatty Arbuckle also directed many films under the pseudonym William Goodrich later in his career. Let's find out why. Because Fatty Arbuckle has one of the best scandals of the 1920s. So Fatty Arbuckle was a beloved silent film comedian, and he was accused of manslaughter following the death of actress Virginia Rapp during a party in 1921. This case captivated the public and the media, and it led to 3 trials. Now, Fatty Arbuckle was eventually acquitted, but the scandal tarnished his career and, of course, highlighted the darker side of Hollywood's glamorous image. And we know that during the golden age of film, like I said, they had these fixers. So scandals that tarnished anything Hollywood, you were out. We know people get blacklisted in Hollywood all the time, which is probably the reason that Fatty Arbuckle directed films under a pseudonym. So this was actually one of Hollywood's earliest and most controversial scandals. So in 1921, Fatty Arbuckle was accused of manslaughter following the death of Virginia Rapp. Now, this was at a party at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. Rapp died of a ruptured bladder and peritonitis, and rumors spread that Arbuckle had assaulted her. And if you didn't know, peritonitis is a serious medical condition characterized by the inflammation of the peritoneum, the thin tissue lining the inner wall of the abdomen and covering the abdominal organs. This inflammation is often caused by a bacterial or fungal infection, which can occur due to a rupture in the abdominal organ, like a burst appendix, or complications from medical procedures such as dialysis. Symptoms of peritonitis include severe abdominal pain, bloating, fever, nausea, vomiting, and difficult passing gas or stool. If untreated, it can lead to life-threatening complications like sepsis, where the infection spreads throughout the body. Treatment typically involves antibiotics to combat the infection, and in some cases, surgery may be required to address the underlying cause. It is considered a medical emergency, so prompt treatment is crucial. So if she died of this peritonitis, how can that possibly be Fatty Arbuckle's fault? Interesting. But the rumors had spread that Arbuckle had assaulted her. Now, he went through 3 very highly publicized trials, and he was acquitted in the 3rd trial, with the jury issuing a formal apology stating that he was innocent and had been unfairly targeted. Now, I know juries really do take a lot of this seriously, and I'm leaning towards the side that this apology was sincere and not because he was a famous actor back in the day. But despite the acquittal, the scandal destroyed Arbuckle's career and reputation, as the media frenzy and public outrage were relentless. So public relentless outrage is not a new thing. Keep it up. But Virginia Rapp's death remains shrouded in mystery, with conflicting accounts about what happened at that party. Some believe her death was due to pre-existing medical conditions, while others speculate about foul play. And of course, this case highlighted the dark side of Hollywood glamour and excess during the 1920s. Now, I am a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist, but I will also debunk them if I see something off. And I have to be honest, I'm leaning towards pre-existing medical condition, because reading how serious that condition is of peritonitis, it seems like it's something she had for a while and just happened to not be treated, and that's when her life stopped. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. So after all of this, all of the studios in Hollywood were really just reluctant to associate with Fatty Arbuckle publicly. So he adopted the pseudonym William Goodrich to direct and continue to work in the film industry in a more discreet manner, but he never regained the fame and success he once had. So it's interesting because, false accusations like we saw with Johnny Depp, he won his trial. He proved his case against Amber Heard. And we'll see what happens with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Will he prove his case against Blake Lively? Because these are career-ending incidents. And it's still continuing then and now. It's really interesting. So, with that, I thank you for joining me. And if you have any tips or stories you'd like to send me, please email me at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to comment and let me know, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And thank you for joining me in the den.